Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to the Kortex Media Podcast, where we navigate the fast-paced world of automotive and more. I'm your host, Corson Schmidt. Here today, I have Michael Stern, Vice President of Sales at Everwash, a company powering car wash memberships for hundreds of operators across the country. With 8 years in the industry and a background in software development and consulting, Michael has become a leading expert in car wash subscriptions, recognized for his insights on automated and self-serve models. His ability to blend technical know-how and an understanding of customer needs has made him a sought-after speaker and panelist in the car wash space. It's great to have you on, Michael.
Thanks, Corson. Happy to be here.
Hey, no worries. Before we truly kind of dive into things and get things rolling here, do you mind giving us kind of a quick walkthrough of your early career, kind of what first drew you to software development, consulting, and now into the car wash space?
Sure. So, not to bore everyone, I started my career, doing software development, creating custom apps for several companies. Naturally progressed to more of a consulting role where I implemented, various projects or had several engagements with some fairly large companies in different areas of technology. Later progressed to a sales role, just naturally fell into it as I was supporting, salespeople as they look to understand the software, whatever product I was involved in. And I've been doing that for, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years at this point, selling software. Selling software is a unique or selling technology is a unique talent, as you got to really understand and position your product to meet the needs of your customer and understand their pain points. Kind of reached a fork in the road with my career several years ago and ended up in the car wash space. Basically, I moved to an area. Basically, we provide technology and services, training, consulting, support to car washes that don't want to do membership on their own. So we offer a platform, soup to nuts platform that allows a car wash operator to offer membership to their customers. And my role at Everwash has been to bring on those car wash owners onto our platform, basically bring them onto the platform. So, like everybody's career, there's been different, areas that I've worked in, or most people have, various areas they work in, different areas of expertise, forks in the road where you got to make a decision as to what you want to do. And I've kind of followed, a really unique path. But what I do today is really interesting, really fun. And the people that I work with are great.
For sure. That's the best part, right? As long as you can show up to work with a smile on your face every day, you can't
That's
complain.
right. Some days it's really easy. Some days can be a challenge.
That's everyone. That's life, right? Some days are great. Some days you wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
That's
Um,
right.
at the end of the day, you gotta try to smile. But
Tomorrow's another day, always,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. How I think this is a question that a lot of people would have with you having such an experience within software technology and etc. But what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen from starting out as a software development, moving into your consulting side of things, and now where you are now? What are some of those biggest changes that you've seen in software itself?
I mean, from the, you know, I guess what I'll say is like this buy versus build decision, right? Like do it on your own or, buy something off the shelf. Those areas have really, become grayer in nature. There's a
Hmm.
lot of platforms, out there that allow you to buy something that makes it easy to develop, right? So basically that buy versus build has become a grayer area. Additionally, uh, the integrations and the different packages out there, APIs and, basically software playing well together has definitely improved over the years, right? So,
For sure.
initially if you wanted to build something, there were challenges and only a few things fit together. It was more of a puzzle. Now the puzzle pieces are more universal, I've found, and you can you can buy this piece of hardware and use this piece of software. And that's what I love about our platform today is we basically work with everything, right? So that ability to work with everything has gradually become easier, better, more powerful. And that's one of the largest changes I've seen.
For sure, for sure. How has your education, so you had education at Penn State and Temple University, how has that really contributed to your role now at Everwash and your upcoming within software development, consulting, moving forward?
Yeah, great question. I have a college age or a son that's starting to look at colleges right now. And,
Nice.
my opinion is college prepares you for the real world, right? It teaches you to think critically. It provides you, a background in many types of areas. Real world experience, is ultimately needed, right? You don't get that real world experience in college. What college and, so my undergrad and my grad programs, they prepared me to become more of a strategic and critical thinker, which obviously provided that foundation, to provide real world application.
For sure, for sure. It's one of those things. I never went to college. I went to trade school when I worked as a mechanic, and it was the same thing, right? They help you more on that book side of things, but working as an apprentice, I still had that on-shop, hands-on work. So a lot of the stuff was relatable, and I knew a lot of the stuff from working hands-on and really getting the true knowledge of working within the field. What has been some of the most rewarding aspects of working with a fast-evolving company like Everwash moving forward with your software development and just helping the company grow it?
So I don't do any software development today.
Oh, you
Right?
don't do it?
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, my role at Everwash is to find operators that want to use our solution to increase revenue at their business, right?
Okay.
How has my background helped? Well, critical thinking, solution selling, understanding what their pains are. If I didn't early on in my career learn how to listen to someone, understand their pains, translate that into a spec, and actually build software around it, I don't believe that I would talk to a car wash owner today, understand what their pains are, understand their customers, and translate that to the strategies that are necessary in order to make them successful at membership at their unique car wash. No
For
car
sure.
wash is the same, no business is the same, right? And therefore those, my early days, the experience that I gained early in my career really has translated itself into just a skill, into listening to people and understanding their pain and then providing a solution that helps solve that pain.
For sure. And that's like one of the key points in sales is you need to listen to your prospect. You need to listen to their pain points, their challenges, and help bridge those together to pull together a solution that's truly going to optimize for them.
Yeah, that's really important. But I want to tell you, the other aspect that's super, super important is not just being a yes man, right?
For
A yes
sure.
person, right? So, for example, if I just listen to pains and say, hey, here's what we're gonna, you got to solve it, and sometimes you got to give a little tough love too, right? Hey, I understand, but let me tell you what I've learned from working with these thousands of people, right? And maybe the way that you're thinking about it today, let me challenge that and make you a little bit uncomfortable because you have to innovate, you have to evolve if you want your business to continue to grow and thrive.
For sure. I love that because that was one of the biggest things that I've spoke with a few people on this podcast is that about 40 years ago, you'd have business owners, but they knew the trade very well. They didn't know how to run the business very well. Where now you're starting to get business owners that know how to run their business. They know how to grow their company, and they need help from other individuals to help with that evolving industry, to help with testing different things and figuring out what works, iterating, because things change so fast in especially within automotive industries, things change so fast, and you have to implement new things even quicker to stay ahead of the curve. So it's a great point there.
And that was a great point as well, right? I mean, if you don't innovate and evolve, your business will eventually die. Right?
For sure.
So what I say to car wash operators every day is stop trying to sell add-ons, right? Stop trying to look at average ticket as your measurement for success, right? Because you're living in a different time. The market has evolved to a subscription-based market, right?
Yeah.
It's been accepted. The model has changed. If you don't change with it, you're going to be left behind. I mean, we could talk about companies all day that have fallen into that trap, right? But it's just evolve or die scenario, and that's happened a million times over the years with various companies, and look, digital photography replaced the film print industry, right? I could give a million different examples, but to your point, you got to evolve.
For sure. And being in the car wash industry, do you see more washes moving towards your subscription model that you guys are selling to them as the drive-through car washes, or is it more of the subscription model in the manual washes as well, or how does that landscape look?
It's a really good question, Corson. This has changed over the course of my career in the industry. I'll tell you, a decade ago, you were bleeding edge if you were doing this, right? In a tunnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the question came, can you do it in a flex? Which is a wash that will do like an interior and exterior clean.
Okay.
Right? Can you do it in an automatic, right? That's the traditional, you put the car in park. It's not a conveyorized tunnel, an automatic, put the car in park. Different challenges present themselves based on the type of wash you are, right? There's throughput is an issue at automatics, and it self-serves, right? With an express exterior where you have a conveyorized tunnel, you can pump a lot more cars through, right? So volume, you have more capacity, right? You have more opportunity. In an in-bay automatic and a self-serve, there's limited capacity, right? Because there's only so many hours in a day. It takes a certain amount of time to wash a car. So the answer is that along the way, we have found ways to innovate and allow operators at every type of car wash to offer a membership solution. Because you ultimately, a car wash, whether you're an automatic, a self-serve, a tunnel, ultimately you have people that will go to any of those three. Every single one of those wash types. And I'm having this conversation. If you want me to back up and talk about the different wash types, I will. But every single type of wash, whether it's an automatic, a conveyorized tunnel, a self-serve car wash, whatever it might be, it presents its own challenges, right? They have a different business model, but ultimately your customers are the same pool of people, automobile owners, right? And you have some automobile owners that are very specific about, I will never use an automatic car wash, right? I'll only use a handheld, right? Like a self-serve, right? And some people aren't comfortable being pulled through on a conveyor. They want to put their car in park and have the equipment. And some people just want to touch free. So you do have unique people that only want to go to your type of wash. But if you look at, overall, people, there's lots of people that own vehicles that don't care. They'll, it's whatever's most convenient to them.
For
right?
sure.
So if you have a tunnel and an in-bay automatic in the same town, and you take those pool of customers, some percentage of those aren't going to care and are going to go to where they find the best deal. So you got to be willing to compete regardless of what type of wash you have.
For sure. And with those subscription-based models, do you mind just explaining a little bit on how they work? If someone in a town that works with you guys, they have a car wash that works with you guys, how does that model work? I'm assuming they're paying a monthly fee. They get to wash as many times as they want. Is that kind of the base of it?
Yeah, so the way that our solution, so the way that most unlimited or membership programs, car wash programs work is you can wash once a day, every single day in the month, right? You have some operators that say, hey, listen, we have some customers that on the way to work, they get their car washed, and on the way home they want to get their car washed, so we'll open it up. And our technology provides for that flexibility if you want to let someone wash twice. But the vast majority of unlimited programs means one car wash a day, every single day in the month. And to your point, it's one payment, right? So typically that payment is 2 times a single wash, right? But so for 2 times a single wash, you can come in and wash 30 times a month or 31 times a month or 28 times a month.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think it's a super cool model, and like you said, it's where the industry is going, right? You see Netflix, you see everything has a subscription base now because it's convenient, it's easy, and you don't have to remember to keep paying. It just comes out, you get the convenience of it, and away you go. And that, at the end of the day, that's what everyone wants, is convenience. And with subscription models, some people really, especially with car wash, some people really like having their car clean. If they can roll in after work, clean their car, they walk out the next morning, things still spotless, they go to work, gets dirty, come back, spotless again, people are going to be really happy on that behind that situation, for sure.
Hey, Corson, spot on. What do you think the busiest, when do you think would be the busiest time for a car wash? What do you think drives people to the wash most? It's cyclical, right? Yeah.
It's a great question, because here I'd say more springtime. It starts warming up. It's raining a little. I mean, here in Ontario, it rains, roads get dirty, whatever. Cars get dirty because the roads are full of rain. I'd say that's the best because it's still warm out, where winter should be the best. People should want to get their car washed more in winter to wash that salt off, especially here in Ontario, to try to keep the car a little bit cleaner at the end of the day, keep that salt off from rotting their vehicle. But I'd say it'd be more of the warmer months because people actually will get out of the... I guess it depends what you're doing as a car wash as well. I'd say more springtime. I'm going with spring.
Okay. No, I think you're right. I mean, look, it depends, right? You're in Ontario, I'm in the Philadelphia area, right? It depends. But what I found is it's pollen season, I would say is number one, right? That's yellow, green, gold, whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. Salt season, white gold, right? Those I found to be our busiest seasons, right? Across the United States, you've got climates that vary pretty significantly, right? In South Carolina, pollen season starts in March, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Heavy pollen season is May in Philadelphia, right? So it's like you have the benefit of, in this country, of our washes getting busy at different times because those seasons start. I thought you were going to say summer, right? A lot of people say, well, summer because, it's super nice and people like to keep their cars clean. What happens in the summer, though, is you have less rain, there's less, there's less of that actually make your car dirty, right? So, July, August, September, those tend to be, a little bit slower because cars just aren't getting as dirty.
Myself, I only use the car wash in the summer because I have my summer car that doesn't come out until the summer months. And I tell you, I live in the country as well, so fly shit is the worst to get off, so keeping it clean, but that's just me. I'm
you know what, you're 100% right. I took a little road trip a couple weeks ago. It was 3 hours up to where I was going, 3 hours back. Couldn't even see out my windshield. I had to go 3 hours, right? And it's funny, we have washes in Guam, for example. Guam is a U.S. territory, and the salt air there, really, and people want to keep their cars clean. So we've got extremely, popular, sites that use our technology in Guam. And Alaska, we have sites, in Alaska. So it's really interesting how the different climates, lead to different washing patterns. But, at least in the United States, that winter and spring are our busiest times.
For sure. Do you guys work with, say you get a kind of mobile detailer, mobile wash company as well? Have you ever worked with them or spoke with them? Or what's your opinion on?
Yes. The answer is yes, I've spoken with them. I don't know how we can do so a mobile detailer requires scheduling, right?
For sure.
and the capacity is extremely limited because you might be able to do one car an hour,
Yeah.
right? So when I say capacity represents opportunity, you're taking like an extremely limited amount of capacity. So like how many members can you really have like in a subscription program?
Fair
And
enough. Yeah.
also so the answer is, listen, if someone comes up with a creative way, then we could probably support it. I just don't, I don't see how it's possible, and you'd have to limit the number of members, so it's not,
Yeah.
there is a volume component to being successful at membership, and the mobile detailers seem to break that that volume number. They're not going to get over that number. You could
No,
have
for
an
sure. It's a great point. Great
you
point.
know, yeah.
Do you see any other industry trends within the car wash industry, the subscription-based industry, that are really affecting you guys, or that might in the future?
Yes. Yes, right? So, what I'll tell you is when we started doing this, we wanted to have a soup to nuts solution.
Yeah.
You cannot successfully do membership without the ability to do that, right? So if you do it on your own, let me back up a second, right? Think
Yep.
about like the tools you need to do it on your own. You need the POS, you need just the ability to sell, manage, maintain memberships, right? That in itself, when we got into this, existed, right? You could set up a manual program, where someone came in and you check the box on, like so that existed. The ability to capture money and track it existed, but to do it successfully, you need things like customer engagement tools. What is that? Well, the ability to reach out to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provide an email, provide a text message, provide an in-app notification. Hey, the wash is closed today, right? So that engagement, provide a survey if someone cancels, have
For
win
sure.
back cancel if someone cancels 90 days, right? So one of the trends I see is that there are more and more point solutions coming to market, right? So if you buy, if you're using a certain company's point of sale system, you can bolt on, these customer engagement, platforms, right?
Yeah.
You can bolt on a customer service platform, right? When people want to freeze or cancel or they forget their password, you need customer service. We have a 24/7 call center. So that's now available if you do membership on your own as a bolt on. So one of the trends I see is just those point solutions. There are innovative companies coming to market that offer those point solutions. Um, that obviously impacts us because when we provided a soup to nuts, a full platform, now you could go out and buy the POS, bolt on a customer service or a call center, and bolt on customer engagement. You can't do it as economically as we can do it for you.
For sure.
But if you have a chain of 20, 30 car washes, then you can start to do it on your own with those bolt-ons, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, that being a trend in this world of a lot of things being recurring charges, there's this concept of what's called one-click cancel being
Mm-hmm.
required. Right? So it's got to be as easy to cancel your membership as it was to sign up.
Yeah.
That used to be a big selling point for Everwash because we were, you manage your membership on your phone, you could cancel anytime.
Mm.
So a lot of the folks that do it on their own, if you sold through a pay station or you did it manually, that one-click cancel was certainly a challenge. So look, I mean, as technology evolves, as more people are doing it, 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 there's lots of new entrants to the market, offering technology, point of sale solutions that just require a tablet, not a pay station, right?
Yeah.
So all of these things impact, our company. There are trends that I love it, right? I mean, it makes us better. It causes us to constantly evolve as well. Um, it's a healthy market. It's a healthy industry right now.
For sure. Yeah. And AI has kind of been one of the biggest words as well. And then back to the tech stack that you guys were talking about, it helps leverage some of those tools, make those tools a little bit more accessible, make them easier to make that customer service more efficient, more operational at the same time. Um, as for AI, do you see it playing a big role in helping you guys with with those stack-ons that you guys were just talking about there, or do you see it as something that a lot of people? I've spoke to quite a few companies, right? And some companies are big into the AI, let's do it, let's get into it. But some people are starting to look away from it because people are already noticing when AI is AI and people want that human-to-human interaction at the end of the day. Have you guys kind of leveraged the AI? Are you guys kind of in the middle right now, or what does that landscape look like for Everwash?
Yeah, so I mean, if we talk about AI as it pertains to B2C, AI as it pertains to B2B, or just AI in my day to day, I'll tell you I use AI day to day,
For sure.
In my own, right? So when I have a consultative call with a car wash, with a prospect, I have a note taker running in the
Yeah.
background. I use a solution called Attention.
Yeah.
It records my call. It puts notes into Salesforce, basically our CRM,
Yeah.
and it creates an email for me to summarize the conversation and next steps. I mean, it has increased my capacity and my ability to communicate with B2B with car washes
For sure.
significantly. It's improved my day to day like you wouldn't believe, right? Um, there's lots of applications, as it pertains to how we engage our customers,
Mm-hmm.
identifying, potential churn risks, right? Increasing retention. Basically, AI eventually will, right? Who knows where it's going, right?
For sure. For sure.
From that perspective, we do have an AI solution, and there's and basically it's a company that we acquired in 2021. Uh, the solution uses cameras. We
Mm-hmm.
recognize vehicles as they wash. We can compare the license plate on the vehicle, that was on site that day with the vehicle on record. So AI is helping improve. Basically, it's a risk mitigation tool
For sure.
for
For
all
sure.
leaders that are using our technology. Right. That's one part of it. Another is, AI just to identify potential sales opportunities. Right. If I'm a transactional car washer, meaning that I could just come, maybe I'm passing through the area, my windshield was covered in bugs, I might not be the best candidate to sell for an attendant, to sell a membership to. But
Mm-hmm.
as an attendant, as a certified, membership sales attendant, if I had information which told me this person is here twice a month, the script, the way that I engage that customer is vastly different, right?
For sure.
So we have the technology, to provide that kind of intelligence, and we own the patent on that technology as well. Basically, using cameras to recognize a customer and basically
Mm-hmm.
provide a sales pitch to them. We do own the patent on that. But what I'll tell you is, it's invaluable to an operator because that conversion percent. Right now, if you convert 1 in 10 cars that come through to a member, you're doing great. But if knowing that that person is not a transaction, that person is they're a repeat customer, that can improve your conversion to 2 in 10, 3 in 10. It's invaluable to an operator.
For sure. No, that's some super cool technology, and it's crazy what's coming out these days, right? Especially start of 2025 was like the start of it, and we're halfway through the year, just over half. But it seems to keep building, become better and better every day. But having that technology in place, recognizing the vehicles, recognizing those license plates, makes your job at Everwash easier to track data, to show those car wash owners exactly, okay, this person's coming in this many times. Let's try to get them on a membership because at the end of the day, they're going to save money going on that membership platform, where they might not notice that, they might not realize that, or even know that there's a subscription base at the end of the day. And it's just kind of helping your customers, bringing their retention back in, helping with messaging, etc. And it's super helpful in a lot of ways, for sure.
Yep, well stated, 100%.
Thank you.
You must do this. You must do this.
Pardon?
They said you must sell membership for a living, right?
I should, shouldn't I?
You get it. Love it.
um, at the end of the day, businesses always want to grow. And what are some of the biggest goals that you guys have for Everwash? Where do you want to see Everwash be in the in the long term? Where do you guys want to take Everwash? And then after that, I'm just going to ask you a question on how others can also, what is some of the most important lessons others can implement into their business to hit some goals for the next year. But we'll start with, where do you guys want to take Everwash? What's the big goal at the end of the end of the tunnel for Everwash?
So, look, that what I'll say to you is my day-to-day goal, right, for Everwash is to continue to make car wash operators, we call them our wash partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is to continue to make them successful, right? That's our goal. If they win,
Yeah,
we win, right?
for sure.
It's as simple as that, right? Uh, every single call that I take, the goal is to talk to a business owner and help them understand that this model is better for them at the end of the day.
For sure.
And I say it almost on every single one of my calls. A member is worth more, right? So that's what I say. If you sign up, right, if you have success in this subscription business, you're covering your fixed costs, right? Um, and that's why we do this, right?
For sure.
That's why we do
Yeah, and at the end of the day, back to that subscription base, it's a great way for a car wash owner to know that they're going to have that recurring revenue. They don't have to fight around and be like, is this month going to hit? Is it going to be new? Am I going to, like, they know who's coming in, they know what money's coming in, and they can kind of track that data to see maybe something worked better on their marketing that is going to bring more people, etc. They can really test the data because they know who's coming when, instead of kind of just going free for all.
Hey, I mean, honestly, like what other business is there where you can literally wake up and the weather can say this is a $0 day?
Yeah.
This is a $0 week. By the way, the bills don't stop coming in,
Yeah.
right? You still got to pay for the wash, for the equipment that you bought.
Yeah.
High fixed costs, low variable costs. You're better off having recurring revenue.
For sure.
That's the model.
For sure. For sure. If there was someone wanting to get into the, let's go subscription base, because that's your expertise at the moment. If there's someone wanting to get into the subscription base, maybe there's a company that wants to implement a subscription based model. What are some of the most important lessons they should learn before really diving into it? What are some of the misconceptions within the industry as well?
It's not a model that you can dip your toe in, right? So when an operator says to me, "Yeah, I'll give it a try," I say, "When you're ready, not just give it a try, but embrace it. Call me back." Right? There's no trying in subscription business. You're gonna adopt the strategies and adopt what's necessary to be successful, or don't even bother.
For sure.
Right? So if somebody wants to get into it and they're not sure that, if you can't, look, a lot of operators in the in the self-serve space, it's a 24/7 business, right? So you can't be there, you can't have labor there. The model itself was designed around passive income, right? We're going to set it up, people can come in, the machine goes around you. It's not required for you to have a big labor force there, right? No problem. But when it comes to the subscription business, your regulars, those people that you need to basically have an equal mix of, regular customers, the people that are coming in once or twice a week and using the membership, and the people that get value out of it but only come in 0, 1, or 2 or 3 times, right? So think about that, as your customer base, right? And you need equal parts, regulars and right. So you have to build your subscription model to appeal and provide value to both of those customers.
For sure.
So one of the things that I'll tell any operator is this is not a let's worry about the guy that's going to come in 30 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that question a lot. Oh, this person comes in even when it rains. Can I fire him? And I say, sure, but you got to fire the 40 people that came in 0 times.
Yeah.
Or 400 people that came in 0 times, right? So, the model itself just lends itself to basically, requiring a certain set of, strategies to help you grow. Going back to that labor, point that I started making.
Mm-hmm.
Since the business was designed to be passive, what I tell every operator is, listen, you're going to get those regular customers because they're on site more often. They're going to see your signs. They're going to sign up. They're your low-hanging fruit. In
Yep.
order to get the people that come in 0 times, the people that see value, that love it, right? Don't mistake the people that come in for 0 times as people that we're ripping off. No, they love it, right? But you need to sell to those people, right? You need to sell to the people that and talk to them. So I always say, get the boulder rolling downhill quickly. Staff 10 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
Put people there when you're busy, so that boulder, the referrals start coming, right? Because members are going to tell their friends about it.
Mm-hmm.
Members add second, third, fourth vehicles in their house. So you want that boulder to roll quickly. Otherwise, you just have those regular, basically the low-hanging fruit signing up for the first 6 months. So, effort is everything too, right? And that's when we talk about evolution and innovation, operators need to understand that even though they're a passive, labor-free business, having someone sell at the beginning is just going to pay off dividends, like in spades.
For sure.
In the long run.
For sure. Yeah, the customers pay the bills at the end of the day, right? You got to keep them coming in. You got to keep the boulder rolling. As soon as that stops, business stops, right? So, great point there. Great point there. I just want to connect what you said earlier about you guys. Your big goal for the company is to help these car washes change the subscription model, look out for their customers. What are some of the challenges that you guys have went through, just so we can link back to maybe someone else that's moving into a subscription-based model? What are some of the challenges that you guys went through, you guys are going through right now, and how are you overcoming some of those challenges so we can look back to those entrepreneurs wanting to get into the subscription-based model and help them through some of these challenges they're having as well? Maybe they're going through the same thing.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just there's a million challenges that any technology company goes through.
For sure.
Very specific to our technology and things like that, right? Of course, COVID presented a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you have these things that happen. The consolidation of the market is a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, we have these sites that are, profitable. They're really good customers of ours, but the big, private equity groups are, buying them up and putting them on their own program, right? So, just staying ahead of the market and carving out new opportunities on a day-to-day basis, to me, are some of the challenges that, present itself on a daily basis, right? Like, we have to constantly evolve not just our strategies and how we provide, technology and services to our car washes, but, provide an ever-evolving, solution so that we can work with the self-serve operators, right? So that we can work with the, the in-bay automatics and make them successful with less capacity than a tunnel. Those are the challenges that come to mind right away when I think about, what I deal with on a day-to-day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. Great point. Yeah, especially with companies or even washes that don't have a ton of units. They don't have the tunnels. They don't have the systems in place ready to help them expand. You guys are still coming in, giving them a solution to expand, helping them grow that wash at the end of the day.
Yes. Of course, one of the other things that I'll point out is I talked about consolidation, basically the big, private equity, big car washes coming in and buying up, some of the mom and pop operators.
Yeah.
The other thing that, is happening is expansion just in general.
For sure.
In the industry, right? So it might not even be consolidation, but, hey, I'm the only car wash in town one day. and then a sign goes up and, some big tunnel is developing land across the street, right? I talk to a car wash operator maybe every other day that
Mm-hmm.
tells me that their business is down because a tunnel or another operator opened around them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's sad, right? Because when you talk to an operator, and I have real life examples of operators that had membership and didn't even feel, weren't impacted at all when a competitor opened.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't impacted because they've got loyal customers, they've got members. They weren't impacted at all. And
For
then you
sure.
talk to someone whose business is down 75% because a tunnel opened near them. You know how many owners I talk to every day that say, I'm the only wash in town, right? I'm going to continue to do things. I've got flexibility. I can do whatever I want. I'm the only wash in town. I mean, it's just scary to hear that they're not providing that innovation or they're not evolving because they
Mm-hmm.
think that they're the only wash in town. That's going to change at one point, right?
For
So,
sure.
I mean, I want everybody to understand that, or every operator should always, you don't operate out of fear, but you can't run your business thinking that you're going to be the only one, in the business forever. You're not going to own
For
the
sure.
market.
There's
And that's a mistake that people make a lot, and it's difficult to hear those conversations when you're talking to someone with, revenue that's down 50 to 75% because they just failed to evolve.
For sure. Yeah, and it's anything, any industry you're in, any business you're in, you got to make pivots. You got to change. You got to change with the market and stay ahead of
Yeah.
trends, or else you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall behind, and it's tough to catch back up when you do fall behind. So
Right. And like I said, don't live every day through fear, but I wake up every single day and with my coffee look at all the car wash forums and go and look at what my competitors are doing and
yeah,
just you want to improve your game and understand what where you fall behind or where you'd lead based
for sure,
on other entrants. So
for sure, and it's back to those companies that do say they're the only one in town. Um, yeah, there's always going to be innovation. There's going to be new people coming in, but if you're loyal to your customers, if you look out for your customers who are going to pay your bills when that other company does come in, they're not gonna phase because you look out for your customers at the end of the day. They trust you. They know you have a good wash. They know their vehicle's going to be clean by the end of it, and it goes back to marketing as well. When that big competitor does come in, make sure you're ready to pivot, shoot that marketing out, bring in those customers back to your location, and keep pushing out. It's a big cycle at the end of the day.
it is. It is. Look, and everybody has improved because of this,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you can't look at how the subscription business has changed the car wash industry and not say that it hasn't improved things, right?
for sure.
I mean, we forced every operator to be just a little bit better in their game.
Yeah,
So, and the innovation you see is kind of awesome. From the different shows that I went to, the different car wash trade shows, and there's a lot of associations from the Northeast Regional Car Wash Association to the Heartland to the Southwest to the ICA to right. There's all these different associations that provide learning and opportunities for operators to become better. Well, they provide the same services to vendors, right? They give us that opportunity to have a platform to meet people and operate. And to that point, I think as an industry, because of recurring revenue, because new washes are popping up, because people are keeping their cars cleaner maybe than they used to, or there's less, at-home bucket washers. I think everybody has won in the industry because of that.
for sure. Totally agree 100%. For listeners who want to learn more about Everwash, maybe there's a car wash company that wants to speak with you guys, get that subscription-based model. Where can people find you or discover more about Everwash, more about your systems and your services?
Yeah, so you can reach me at Mike S at everwash.com.
Perfect. Amazing. Really appreciate you taking the time, Michael, to come on the podcast. Great conversation about the industry, about trends, about the goals for the company, about Everwash itself, and about your experience yourself. You have a ton of knowledge within the subscription-based model industry, within the car wash industry as well. You stay on top of the news. Make sure you know every industry trend, because at the end of the day, you got to stay ahead of the trends to really start moving forward.
Cool. Of course, and I heard you're talking to my colleague Sean Pashley as well. You're going to do another podcast with Sean, our head of partner success.
I was speaking to him. I told him to ask you to see if he wanted to come on with you, but I'm good with doing with him as well.
We can do another one. I'll make a guest appearance on his. He's a wealth of knowledge. Runs a car wash, so we have a car wash here by our headquarters, our world headquarters in Conshohocken, PA. He's a wealth of knowledge. He has done all of our training, whether it be over the phone or remotely. So for anyone that for anyone that listens to this, stay tuned for Sean. He's an absolutely dynamite. The most interesting man I've ever met, in a wealth of knowledge. So I would love to come on with Sean and just laugh at all his stories and be part of that as well. Look, and then we'll have, you'll hear the same thing from me twice. So
amazing,
I'd love to
Mike.
Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I'll see what Sean thinks of it as well. Make sure he's happy with everything, and we'll get some.
Sean and I, the Kelsey brothers, we'll bring Taylor Swift with us, right? So I don't know if that's going to create ratings for your podcast, Corson, but I'm promising right here we will have Taylor Swift on that call.
If you can bring her, you can bring her show up, bring that following as well. Hey, we might have to make a deal.
I'll put on a blonde wig, So.
Amazing, Michael. Thank you for the conversation today. I really appreciate it.
Corson, thanks so much. Good questions. Really good questions.
Thank you.